program with a few spicy questions. We asked them to the different groups, try to make sense of what's going on, and then we have a short pitch of about 4 or 5 people from business, academia and hubs to tell about what they are doing on this specific topic.
I see a danger in the conversation going towards job readiness. I think education is not just about job readiness. Education is about preparing people for the world. And job readiness is one aspect of it. And I think the conversation in the recent past has been a lot about job readiness, which I get because of the high levels of unemployment and the conversations with business leaders. But in the final end, I think it's important for academics and just the universities never to lose what it's about. It's not about jobs only. It's about readiness for the world. Because a human being is much more than work. And you guys are preparing students not just for jobs, but for the world. And I think the other aspect of it is also a challenge just for businesses. I think though, it's easy for us to have a conversation around how academia is missing the point. But I think businesses have a responsibility towards developing the people we want for the workplace. So the job of universities is not just, it's easy to get caught up with the perspective that the job of universities is to prepare students for us. Actually, that's like the end tail of our economy. But when you look at the background of education, that's actually more business. I don't think the businesses should play in.
Yeah. We get very good students, both theoretically and practically, but when they come out here, what they learn is not viable in the market that we are in. So my question would be teaching viable programs, not only theoretically and practically, so that we can also be able to improve on what they are having. But you cannot improve on guys who are profiling a different world.
My name is Kezi. I think we should be heading towards is collaboration between industry and academia. Because what he raises is very interesting, that they have programs that they're running, but they have a backward way of delivering the subject matter, as opposed to forecasting what does industry require, where is the globe heading, what are the trends in the industry. And that would only happen if academia is able to step out into industry, and industry stepping into academia, and having structured collaborative platforms that allow us to share what the trends are, what are the demands, and what output do we want. So that when the students get out, the level of frustration in that age group, graduates right now, the level of frustration is very high because they've invested a lot of time studying. But we are telling them, you're not fit, you're half-baked. Is it really the fault of the students that they don't meet the standard that the business is looking for?
I would say the middle. We either have labor force that hasn't studied, that comes directly after Form 4, or we have academics, but we are missing the trained welders, electricians, plumbers, you name it.
Sometimes to get the work done is very hard. So I have to incubate them and spend time every Wednesday morning to train them on the soft skills.
When someone learns the basic principles, the underlying principles, it is very easy for you to adapt in any scenario. So academia is offering the basic underlying principles that students need, and the business world offers a variety of skills that need to be performed. So when they come into this platform, it's very easy for them to adapt and easy to tweak depending on what the businesses are. So it's not necessarily a matter of I have this, the person has the skills right now, but you have an understanding of, they have the underlying principles, how do we bring them on board and get them to a point where we are at as a business.
If you look at some of the organizations that are really spending a lot more in really helping those young students who come to the job and helping them with the soft skills, the life skills that they need, and orienting them very, very well, whether it's through the management training programs or whether it's through onboarding programs, they are really able to find good talent, and that talent remains and grows within the organization. What we're struggling right now is where, especially for business, we want to have these people come in already. I mean, like come ready and hit the ground running. But if it's a business, we could start doing that and really helping these young people, because we might not be able to change academia today, but what can we do now to start helping these young people, because they're very smart and they have their own strengths. It's just that they're not fully packaged the way we as business want them to.
My name is Mary. I work for a company called Smart Applications. I believe life is a journey, and when it's a journey, it has stages, and every stage has got its assigned mandate. I wouldn't expect a nursery, a kindergarten child to do what a primary child does, because chances are there's what they will receive at the kindergarten, and then they'll go to the next stage, the primary level, to receive it. So once our students have finished with the academia, I believe the business community has got to have some mentorship programs to receive these young people. They have come in with knowledge. They have come in with probably not the right attitude, not the right skills, but now they have come in with a bit of theory. And for those who adhered to what the academia offers, because the academia offers some business principles as well. And that business principle is when you're told, I'll give you a third or a 10% in class, and then the 90% is for you to go and research for yourself. That is basically a business principle, because business is about working for yourself, and you're already equipped with that in the university. So we expect that when you come to the business world, you've already tasted a bit of what business is all about, working for yourself. And therefore now in the business community, what we do is to pick you up with that little principle that you have, but with the knowledge that you have, and we set up mentorships to take you to the next level. Life is a journey. And once you're there, now you go to the next level of, leadership. And I believe while we're waiting for the academia to change probably the program a little bit, we as the business community should be able to accommodate these children and these young people by developing programs that will mentor them to the next stage of life.
Is it also your task to develop intrapreneurs, so entrepreneurship within businesses? How do you see that role?
I think we have to, there's a definition of insanity where if we continue to do the same things again and again, expecting different outcomes. We're expecting academia to change, and yet academia is historically the slowest changers of all. They're not going to change that much because they have their basic foundations that they're dedicated to do. Businesses, on the other hand, you're geared for change. You're changing every so many years just to change your product and what you do just to stay alive in the competition world. So if there's change that's going to take place, it'll come from business. What business lacks is that foundation sometimes that academia can give. So it seems to me we can talk all we want, or business who's in the business of change and surviving, you can say, look, these kids are bright. They don't have the skills we want. Okay, so you can continue to hire them and expect them to get the skills, or you can say, what type of character do we want our employees to have? What type of ethics do we want? What type of person fits well into what we have vision for our dream? And then you can say, let's hire the people who have the ethics and the character we want, and then we will create, business will create the programs as what you say. If they're in kindergarten, we'll give them the programs to get them to primary school. And from that's business's job to create the type of employee you want.
Doing business in Kenya is really hard. And so if you can push that responsibility elsewhere, the better. And I think that's a reason why businesses have constantly been talking about half-baked students, because it's a lot easier to push that responsibility elsewhere. And I liked what someone said about the students, because recently there was a conversation that was going on Twitter around paying interns. And we ended up having a very interesting conversation with even the community of the students that we work with. And we kept saying, when you're in university, is the only time you have to do all those unpaid jobs. But we have a culture that says, and it's historical, it used to be so many vijana read, and then when you finish, you will get, we even had songs that we used to sing that just inculcated that kind of mindset. And so even from parents' perspective, they don't want students doing anything else except reading. Yet, there's a lot that they can be doing in campus, which can be building those skills that are needed.
The notion that you're saying that skills are supposed to be taught after university is not really, I would not advocate for it. I've actually gone through the whole process. I'm actually even throwing myself under the bus by saying let's network so I can actually develop my skills. So one thing I would say is that I'm standing in the position as a student, I'm also business, is that let us give a chance to also guys who have finished high school to also have an opportunity, because it's a gap here. You're saying there's a gap, so there's a gap year program. You can start as business entrepreneurs to have children, the youth, to actually get to be taught. When they join the universities now, that's when you have now programs where they can actually be given time to present their work, and then they actually get marks for it in their transcripts.
But I think what's coming out of the discussions is that we need collaboration, we need patience, and we need foresight. The reason I say this is that we need to incubate those skills that have been nurtured with the basics from the university, and patience, for example, from the marketplace, to be able to wait and be able to be part of this nurturing, to be able to see this skill that gives us an opportunity to see the future where we want to work, of course, in business.
Kenya House is basically an incubation center in Ruiru and in Nyeri. So what basically we do, we deal with startups and acceleration. We also do hands-on skills, on technical skills like programming, software development. A lot of business companies in Kenya, they don't have an R&D industry, and they don't have a working group, because in working groups we'll have experienced guys, we'll have guys who are coming up, we have academia in the same group, so they're able to learn.
My parents said a few things to me that have stayed with me 30 years on, and I'm dating myself when I said. So first thing I remember my mom said, she said, Derek, people will know how far you have traveled on this journey called life based on the shoes that you're wearing. My dad was fanatical. That's the only way I can describe it about time. And he said, you have to have the right tool for managing your time. And the right tool, ladies and gentlemen, is usually worn on the left wrist. These are the three things that I do. Number one, I'm a change manager. So I work with professionals to help them change the way that they're seen, the way that they're heard, and the way that they're remembered, by helping them develop soft skills. I also consider myself a people packager. So again, I work with professionals of all stripes to help them portray a personal brand that speaks to their particular line of work. And thirdly, I think I consider myself a superhero. One of the things when I was young is that I wanted to be invisible. I wanted to be able to creep into my sister's room or to my parents' room, to be able to see what they were doing without them obviously seeing me. Today, the superhero in me, the superpower that I have, is I help my clients to become visible, to be seen, to become visible instead of miserable. I'd like to say my newfound passion, that is emotional intelligence. We were talking about skills that you need to survive in this brave new world. For you young people who are going out there, for me, the skill that is a must-have, lazima, you put it in this invisible handbag or invisible briefcase that you carry out into the real world, is the skill of emotional intelligence.
CESOC is Social Enterprise Society of Kenya. This is an organization that we started. We were students at Tangaza University in 2016 doing an MBA in entrepreneurship, and we thought, you know, we have different people doing different things, and one of the things that for you to do that MBA, you had to run an enterprise. So we formed CESOC, which has become like an umbrella body. You find a doctor who owns a plastic company, different people owning different things. I do a lot of mentorship for young people. I have, like, you get an IT person coming and they want you to look at the idea very disruptively, you know. I'm that person, you know, the person who critiques and tells them this is the best way to work, this will not work. So that practicality. Academics, what it does for us is it helps us develop our concepts, go and pitch. But you know, whatever is in you that aren't in you, if you try it, that's what makes you precious. Thank you.
Now, what is Great Minds? So, the theme of the workshop is People Power, Skills Gap. Now, Great Minds tackles that, the skills gap, but mostly in the business and incubations, and also just organizations in general. If you're an entrepreneur or if you're a business, because sometimes people have, you can be in a company, yes, you have the skill, but after some time, like for example right now, coding or programming has become something that is more an essential So there are many skills and there are many gaps within industries or in organizations that needs to be tackled. Great Minds Challenge is a 2-month program. It's divided like this. The first month, the participants meet or liaise with coaches who are experts, leading experts in their industry. So these are not just anyone. These are people who have 20 years experience, 30 years experience. They have won, like you say, the Obama Fellowship. So these are people who are actually recognized for their work. So they work with these participants. The first month, they come up with a plan. They identify a challenge in the organization or in your company, if you're an entrepreneur. What is your challenge? Let us develop an impact plan. Next 1 month, you use it to implement, because you don't want you to just come and teach you. We're not telling you what to think, we're telling you how to think. First thing we do, discover talent. How do you discover talent? Basically using tools. Tools such as CREPS, which stands for consistency, responsiveness, effectiveness, profitability, efficiency, and sustainability. If you're able to understand those 5 concepts, you're able to think well. Another tool is C4D, which stands for Clarity 4D. Basically, it's the use of colors and what they mean to us. There are 4 colors: blue, yellow, green, red. Red, are you assertive? Are you action-oriented? Blue, are you a detailed person? Are you someone who plans? Green, are you empathetic? Yellow, are you fun? How do you work in a team? Who are you using those colors, and how are the other people who are different colors or the same colors as diversify creativity and innovation?
As a coach, we work, or as coaches, we work upon the principle that everyone is creative, resourceful, and whole. So basically it means that the solution of your question, of your challenge, is in yourself. So please come together, find that solution, with the help of us, of course, and meet and see if you can enforce bridging this gap together as institutions, businesses, and students. Thank you very much for your attention.